am I gonna talk about? Let the mullet breathe, man. So today we're working on the header a little bit more. Mike finished it. It looks beautiful with all these welds, but we're just putting the finishing touches on it. With Josiah's Frankenstein heads, the port size is a 2-inch circled. What's up, man? Right now? We should have just finished the talking part and then did this. Okay guys, so we're wrapping a box for Drift HQ. And Ethan is double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. Duty calls. All right, we're back now. So what I was talking about was that ports on the head are 2 inches diameter, and these are D-port flanges for a stock LS head. Those are some gnarly heads, those Frankenstein ones.
How big those valve springs are, holy.
So we gotta match it up to the port size. And how I did that was with this deburr tool on my little grinder here. I just went around it, chewed right through it. I was really careful. I'll show you exactly how I did it. Took the calipers, measured to the edge there. It's not really reading very well, but whatever. And then I just transferred it to the bottom here, and then scribed a little mark like so, and then outlined it with Sharpie, and then taped off the edges. You can see the remnants of this one. Taped off the edges so I wouldn't nick the surface finish, and just started hogging. Got 2 down, 6 more to go. Sorry, I can't count. It gets done pretty fast. It's not bad. Grinding. Nothing to it but to do it. That's it.
Dude, do a pull-up. I don't want the car to flip over.
Pull himself up off that bar. It's his height.
Yeah, that's good. You actually go all the way down? Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
You have to, man.
I was just doing like one of these.
No, that's one.
Me?
You have to give me 15, Kyle, or else you're a loser. That's pretty good.
Okay, I got the rear control arms fresh from powder coat. They came out in this really nice anodized green color, and we're gonna slap them on. Okay, so Jack and I just came to the realization that we can make this thing a roller. So we have all the parts that Josiah made. We have them back from welding and powder coat, and this is the final assembly of this car. And we have the uppers, we have the lowers, we have the knuckles, we have the shocks, we have the wheels, the Kansai wheels, we have the Zeknova tires. We can make this thing a rolling chassis with wheels on the ground. That's sick.
Are we doing it?
Let's go. We're doing it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the rear knuckle on with the wheel bearings attached with these new control arms. Should be sweet. Let's go get him. What's going on, guys? On this episode of Formula Drift Atlanta, we're assembling a Corvette. Golly. So what I'm bolting up is a steering rack relocation bracket that Josiah cooked up. We're using an E46 rack in this Corvette. Sits in there nice and flush, bolts into the places where the old leaf spring used to go. So yeah, pretty cool.
much to talk about until we put wheels and brakes on. I mean, it speaks for itself. Look at this, Jack. We gotta put the brakes on. Gotta swap these out for some nylock nuts that we got. We got grade 8 nylock nuts. I don't want grade 5 on this car. We gotta swap those, brakes, calipers, rotors, wheels, and then we'll be able to do those infamous TikTok exploding, real inspiring lock-to-lock videos. Can't do enough of them. Jack, we're gonna have to post like a one-wheel one, a two-wheel one, a wheel spinning one, a steering wheel one. People are gonna be like, I'm so sick of you posting angle lock videos. And I'm gonna say, I don't care. We're gonna know, this is gonna be the big one. Air jack up, wheel to lock, look at the 8-to-1 header. Explode, it's gonna be an internet exploding. Oh, look at that.
That looks cool, man.
You're the one who said, why are you doing that? This is why. You asked me, why am I powder coating this? And what'd you just say? It looks nice.
I didn't say it wasn't gonna look nice.
You said something like, that's a waste of time. Something like that. Yeah, you did.
You're always pitting me against you.
You're like, the world is against me. See, Kyle, I just proved you wrong.
You literally told me not to powder coat the pedals
I said
and
it
this.
looks fine, silver. I said just clean it up a little.
All right, well, this looks way better, this color, than it did the other color. The location is unmatched. It's well protected. It's extremely low center of gravity, and it's a form fit for this triangular weird shape where you can't really fit anything else there. So why would I run anything but the stock gas tank? That's the reason. Yeah, and it saves like $2,000. I think it's probably like 30 something liters, which is lots for what? What, Jack?
I was yawned in the background. I was not.
Yeah, you did.
So I'm here safety wiring Josiah's front rotors. What we wanted to try to do was get a continuous safety wire pattern. If you ever safety wired before, then you'd probably be used to the 2-bolt method, which is wiring 2 bolts at a time, kind of like this transmission here. Tie 2 bolts together at a time. So I'm doing it a little different here, where I'm doing a continuous wrap around the whole rotor. So it's different from doing just 2 bolts at a time. You gotta, at the end of the wrap, I have to kind of manipulate the wire kind of the opposite way how you usually do a 2-bolt wiring job. Kind of counterintuitive, but to keep the wire twisting clockwise, I have to route the wire around the bolt differently. So if you're watching this and you've done this before, you're probably gonna think this is wrong, but it's okay. We're getting her done.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got the pliers for it? Yeah.
Yeah, like when I grab it and I'm twisting it with this much of a lead, it's just like hitting me in the face.
Everywhere.
Kind of a pain, but because usually I was explaining to Jack in the videos that I watched, they only do 2 bolts at a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there would be 2 and then a gap and then 2 and then a gap and then 2. But just size like on the S14, both rotors are just a continuous wrap. So he's like, I like the look of that. I want you to do that. So I'm like, all right, I'll figure that out.
Are you gonna bridge those ones?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this and then re-link it in. Doing it this way is real kind of hard,
Yeah,
but
the lead flying around everywhere.
yeah, so.
Oh, looks like a booger, dude. Ew! Next step, this has to go inside.
And bring it around this way as we go. Because we're trying to bring this side down. Right. Got you. Yeah, I got you. Okay, this one. Combo number L. Oh, baby. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, pop that on. Air pressure. The left one. So I already popped the bead, like it's fully seated now?
Yep.
Okay. Dude, we're beating, dude. Yeah, we're beating it up. We're getting it. We got one. Damn, I blew it. We were sending it too hard.
Well done, dude.
Thanks, dude. Okay, so Josiah got brand new can size, but he also has the same models, but that he's run in years previous. Thanks, Kyle. Anyways, we're gonna be cleaning these can size because they're filthy. We're gonna clean them to match the brand new ones. Probably not gonna look that shiny, but we're gonna try. This was before. Yeah, I like this one. Honestly, the one I did was the worst one out of them all, but this is kind of what was on it. Dirty wheel. Now we got a fresh looking can side. Now I'm gonna do these three to get them looking like that.
So we've made a lot of really exciting progress on the Corvette. As you can see, we've got 4 wheels on the car. We've got everything color coded for the gold, black, green, and gray look. Basically, the livery is also gonna match the theme that we have going on here as well. We haven't done anything with the front and rear tube frames, but we have done a lot of suspension stuff. So let's take a close look at what we got going on here. This is our simulated lock-to-lock with our Kansai wheels wrapped up in the Zek Novas. We've got our Wilwood brakes on and everything clears. Jack, way too much spray on the tire. That's so slippery. Okay, but that's cool, so that spins, right? Nice, turn it this way. All the way. I don't even need to talk anymore. Just take a close look at everything. We've got our matching bolts. Super upset that these were silver, but is what it is. Wilwood likes to use Imperial, so sometimes you gotta mix them, metric Imperial. BC's matching the black and gold look. We've got our cute little sway bar link in here. We've got to make a blade to connect it. We've got the BMW rack all hooked up with tie rods. I have to make some longer ones, but these are just a placeholder for now. Everything is going really, really well. We've got our mock-up tank in for the dry sump, and everything's looking extra fresh. Okay, come to the rear. Do a quick little zoom out of the, yeah. Want me, yeah. Isn't that crazy? So what a lot of people don't understand about what makes this kit so much better than everything else that's available is the Ackerman curve is way more linear because of the location of the steering rack. So if you look at where the original one was, you can kind of see the original one was right here. And we've effectively moved it back almost 4 inches. What that means is the Ackerman curve, if we were to graph it, as you go lock to lock, with the rack relocated up here, and we can go right back to my alignment videos that we did 2.5 years ago, you'll see that the curve of the Ackerman goes from 0 toe to toe out, then to parallel with a rack that's really far forward. But if you have the rack in line with the knuckle and in line with its pivot point, you have a much more linear Ackerman curve, and it's gonna give you better handling throughout your lock-to-lock range. So this is gonna not only have the most angle ever possible on a Corvette, but it's also gonna handle the best and have the most linear feel. So anyways, back to the back, to the back. We've got the juicy, used but juicy 285s mounted on the 9-inch Kansai wheels. This is going to allow us to run a much lower tire pressure. Typically you can go down to 10, down to 8, fairly, not sketchy, but you're at risk of debeating. The narrower the wheel, the lower the pressure you can go without a risk of debeating. So with this size of rim, it's a little harder to mount, but it's very low tire pressure friendly, if required. We usually don't need to run that low, but you never know. You go against some big hitters and they're running all the tire and grip and everything they can. You got to do what you can. So it also looks sick. People love the word girth because I used it here. So again, it looks girthy. So we've got the sway bar, suspension, tow arm, and rear lowers all installed. Honestly, almost perfectly aligned without even trying. We just threw it on. The sway bar still needs our splines welded in. We left the rad off of this so that we can get to wiring the car, but otherwise it's going really well. We kind of simulated the weight of the drivetrain in the back with a couple bodies like myself. And I think we pretty much nailed the spring rate and motion ratio of this lower and get a ton of travel range out of it. So I'm super happy with how that's all gone. We destructive tested this arm in the machine over there. I don't know if we can clip a little bit of it just breaking, but 35, 70, 36, 38, 38, 4, 4,000, 42. Can't see it anymore, but we passed 42. 42, we hit like 46, but I can't see the thing anymore. It did incredibly well. A lot of comments talking about the thickness of the arm. What they don't realize is the material that we're using is 4 times the tensile strength of mild steel. That's what this is. So it looks thinner, yes, but it's very, very strong. It's ridiculously impressive. That all said, things are going really well. Things are moving along. Now we're going to simulate what some of the coolest things that we possibly can. We're gonna air jack the car up, go lock to lock, and show off all of the hard work and dedication that we put into this car. Let's air jack it up.